Hello, hello. Y'all know I do this all the time with the hello, hello, but I just want to make sure I can hear myself. Hello, hello. Y'all know I do this all the time with the hello, hello, but I just want to make sure I can hear. All right, and apparently I can. So, all right. Um, damn. All right. I hate YouTube sometimes. I really do. All right. If y'all can hear me, please type in the YouTube link chat, whatever, I'm not sure where everybody is coming from, but sometimes it's like it's difficult with YouTube and doing all of this. Like, so if somebody could just please let me know that this is working well. I don't know. So and sometimes YouTube just decides like you can't see the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to censor in real time, like we don't want anybody to hurt your feelings. I don't care about all that. I just want to see the chat. All right. So being as though that I was late, everybody, I thank you guys for coming. I thank you guys for coming. We're going to go ahead and get right into what I want to talk about today. And this is just the beginning, because trying to put all this together, like I went into rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. But we need to talk about this stuff. And people can come in and out the chat, come in and out the live, because I know people have stuff to do and everything, and I'm gonna parse this out so we can you guys can come back and watch it later or whatever. Anyway, so I'm gonna just real quick just say a little bit, just a real little bit about me and like what I believe in, and why all of this is even important to me in the first place. Because just as a real quick synopsis, like I guess what made me start this YouTube channel is because in 2020 they told us 2 weeks to slow the spread, and it just never that was it. You know what I mean? That was it for me, because these people had stepped into my world and started lying. And then I realized, like, wow, we get lied to like a lot. It's not even cool. We are going to look at some evidence of some lies that have been told. A video that I ran into on Twitter talking about how, they lied to us about numbers with COVID and stuff, just to get people to, like, listen, we need you to be in full alert and do what we tell you to do. So we just got to tell you a little bit of lie. No, I don't operate like that. I don't, and you shouldn't either. Informed consent means something to me. And the last part of why informed consent, and I'm telling you, that's a fast synopsis, but tonight I'm opening up about something that's very like personal, right? And so anyway, so informed consent means a lot to me, because when I was 23, before I became a nurse, I was told that I had a cyst in one of my ovaries and that it had to be surgically taken out, And I was 23, and the doctor said, like, yo, you have this big bubble on your ovary and it's going to pop and you got to take it out, and or else we're not going to, you're not going to be able to have children, or whatever else they said to me. And I was like, oh my god. So I'm listening to the medical professional, and he said, so we're going to take it out and then we'll put you on birth control so that you won't have this problem again. And I'm like, okay. And I'm going along with everything. And he said, now he told me that the risk of the surgery could be that I either could have it done laparoscopically. And what laparoscopic means is that, you know, they make a small incision, they go in with these little things, they cut stuff out and they pull it out through the small incision. And then you only got to be out of work for 2 weeks. Or you might have to have a full surgery, depending on how big it is. And you would, you know, where they straight cut you open and they'll take it out. And then, you know, you would be out for 4 weeks. So I was like, okay. So like, to me, that was the biggest risk of this surgery. I'm only 23 years old. And I went into surgery. I had already told myself, like, as big as they saying it is, they're gonna end up cutting you open and you're gonna be, you know, out for 4 weeks. And I'm not trying to be too graphic. I'm getting to the point of the story. So when I woke up, I could feel, you know, the pain. I was like, yeah, they cut me up. And, you know, I'm out of it. I'm all groggy and then, you know, fell asleep. And I woke back up. The doctor came in and he was like, yeah, so, you know, we had to open you up. And it was, you know, it was really big. It was really big. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, it actually was inside the ovary and we had to take the ovary. And I started bawling immediately because I was like, I did not know, and I'm not going to bawl now, y'all, but I didn't know that was going to be a risk of the surgery, because had I known, like, you know, now as a nurse, I know, like, yeah, when they look at ultrasounds, they don't really see everything. They don't, you know, that's what they tell me. But anyway, so had I known that might happen to me, I might have been like, you know what, never mind. And here's the other part. They didn't tell me about the depression that you fall into right after they take away all those hormones from you. I mean, it is quite the drop, because they took away a lot of enzymes from you that are very important, that work on your brain and how you feel. And these things it's not about just, oh, I'm hormonal. Like, no, this is real. A lot happened afterwards, and I was not educated on the risks of even losing all of those hormones. I gained a ridiculous amount of weight very fast. Didn't realize that hormones can balance your weight. You know, like, now that you're lacking in certain hormones, you probably need to be eating differently and you need to work out differently to lose weight. It took me 6 years to figure out what the hell was going on with my body. And imagine my surprise when I found out that if I lost weight, I could have really just shrunk the ovary and, the cyst, you know what I'm saying? So I found that out, that I never even had to get cut up in the first place. I found out that, and then when they did put me on the birth control, it absolutely destroyed me. Like, but I was only on that joint for like 3 months. So, but it made me feel sick. It did not work well with me. And guess what? I still was getting a cyst. I was getting a cyst in the other ovary. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I thought this was supposed to help. Found out, like, oh, hold on. Because I just hit my mic. I hate this thing. But then you find out, like, no, like, that's in fact not true. Like, you can still get a cyst on your ovary even while taking birth control. And sometimes the birth control does give the cyst. It's all about big pharma. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even like, listen, it happened. It's my experience, but it's something that taught me a big deal lesson. I believe in giving people full information, full informed consent before they make life-changing decisions. Sorry, y'all. Okay. So, and last part of this introduction, the 33.3, you'll see on my logo, That Girl Casey Media, there's like, it's 33.3. And so that's a part of what it is a verse from the Bible. Is Job chapter 33, verse 3. And it says, my words come from, and I'm reading it. I did memorize, but I'm still reading it. Excuse me, y'all. My words come from an upright heart. My lips sincerely speak what I know. And that's what I do. That's my message, my mission. My words come from an upright heart. I sincerely speak what I know. Yes, because I feel privileged, and not even just privileged. I feel honored. I feel honored that even if only one person is watching this chat, that you would even this live stream, that you would even listen to anything that I have to say. So I feel like I gotta come correct with the information and sincerely give it to you, because this stuff is important, and we We need to know what's going on in our country because we live here. No matter how you feel about it, we live here. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me just make sure that my stuff is. I feel like I got to come correct with the information. All right. Swear to something ain't adding up. Whatever. I don't care. Okay. Again, if anybody sees me and can hear me and want to say something, please feel free. All right. So we're getting right into it, guys. So why I opened up live tonight to talk to you guys is because while I believe in informed consent, I didn't realize how much of a constitutionalist I really was until I got older and realized there was a name for it. You know, even as like a young kid who was watching, you know, music videos and not caring about what was going on about politics or whatever, I knew certain things. Like I was like, you know, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. Like we live in America, there's freedom of speech, you know? And so there was times where they would say like, oh, we're taking so-and-so off the internet because they're racist. And I would be like, nah, like that's their freedom of speech. As long as they're not saying we need to kill so-and-so, I think they should still be on, you know, because I might say something somebody doesn't like one day and I don't want to get taken off. I never knew that that was like right around the corner when I was making that point. So, all right. Now, the title of this live is, what the hell is this? Okay. The title of this live is they're taking away your freedom. They're slowly writing away your freedom. And which is true. Why is it doing this? Oh my God. Oh, I am so mad. All right, hold on, y'all. I just want to share. Amazing. I can't. Are you kidding me right now? This is why I hate the internet. Are you serious right now? I need to go online. Absolutely extraordinary. Hold on, y'all. Man, I'm so upset. I guess maybe I wanted to share videos and all right. Okay, maybe we okay. All right, let me see. All right, hold on. I just need to make sure that it came through. While I'm doing that. All right, it came through. Sorry. It's freaking out, guys. Like, oh my God. All right. You see, I have mad tabs opened up right now on my. It's too much going on out here, yo. Like it's like ridiculous how much is going on out here. All right, bet. Okay. While we are distracted and arguing about things such as abortion or transgender athletes or whatever, our government is going to work every day. Okay. They are working every day. They're not involved with any of these discussions. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like they the media throws out the distractions and then we go ahead, we take the bait and they make moves. They make moves. Okay. They make moves. And sometimes I wonder if these distractions aren't coordinated. I need to take a sip, guys. Y'all gonna, yes, y'all want to see that. Today we're gonna do a lot of talking too. Yeah, like I said, if you can't stay for the whole live, totally understandable. But I'm gonna parse it out because I'm kind of like this is like behind the scenes recording too. Okay. All right. So like I said, they had me distracted because I'm trying to make myself a little bigger. Bet. They had me distracted too. I'm usually good at this. We need to know COVID-19 was a real thing. I worked at nursing homes. Old people died. This did happen. But a tyrant will always use a pretext for his tyranny. Aesop's fable. Y'all correct me if I said that wrong, but that right there, like I live by that. It's true. You can't, and I have, if you go back on my catalog and my channel, I talk about how COVID is now. I said it in 2022. I was like, yo, now we're gonna start. Like I've given you so much science, especially about the jab. We're gonna start talking about things in real time, how they're trying to modernize healthcare. Anytime you hear modernize, it's like real time surveillance, real time this, real time that, is to get control over you. And I said too, I was like, you know, look how in 2020, we had pretty much the whole world doing the same thing with lockdown. Okay. It freaked me out because I know that like I can't get 3 people in a room to do the same thing I asked them to do. You know what I'm saying? But we had the whole world in lockstep. I said, what is this? I was like, so people are that afraid of getting sick that everybody was in lockstep. And that's the thing. They're not going to tell you, you got to stay in the house. They're going to tell you there's sickness out there. And now you're going to stay in the house. You want to be safe. Not everybody feels the same way, but for the optic, when they shut down and stuff, it doesn't look weird because there's something going on, right? But remember, these lockdowns didn't do anything. The Johns Hopkins study came out and said that they didn't do anything to help with COVID or whatever. So, excuse me. But we showed these people that we'll listen. If it gets bad enough, we'll listen. So, of course, not everybody again, but now, okay, now this administration is their focus, and I think I made an episode, but I took it off the YouTube, but I'm pretty sure I did. When Joe Biden came in, when the Biden administration came in 2021, when they started signing all their stuff, I noticed certain words they were using like equity, and they were really all about, you know, domestic terrorism. They tell you the terrorists have come home. And today we're going to discuss who those terrorists are. Okay. At least for the first part of this. All right. There are bills that are being written to, I don't want to say destroy you, but to, the bills that are being written to control you, to take away your freedoms. We're going to start first with this bill, and I have to keep it on this page. These bills are like 1,000 pages long, and I don't know. I know they're not reading these bills. This particular bill I have up, it is HR 4350. This has already passed through the House. This bill has in it where they're talking about, hold on. Okay. I gotta make sure y'all can hear me. So this bill is like talking about countering extremism and terrorism in like the military, but it also goes into civilians too. The Senate has been talking about getting a military spending bill going, and I think for like $800 billion. Somebody put that, they tweeted that, they were like, oh, a bipartisan, both parties think that $800 billion is good to spend on the military. You know, if we were really spending it for real things, I would have no problem doing that. I don't believe in offensive war, but I do believe in a strong defense. I definitely do. We do not have that right now. And I know I'm not in the military, but I'm saying the way society is going and who they have to choose from, I can't imagine that we're as strong as we used to be. Definitely not during weapons of mass destruction time. Okay. So anyway, everybody's in on this whole military spending bill, and they added amendments to this bill. I have a problem with, all right, I'm not even going, okay. So we're just gonna, let's just look at it and then we'll go back and we'll parse it out. All right. And I'm not done with this bill. I'm just looking at this little section that was brought to my attention yesterday. And then I'm going to look at another bill, kind of bringing it all together. But this bill has so much going on. They even talk about the global pandemic in this bill. Okay. So I have a lot of research to do with this bill because I need to read it word for word. Heaven help me. And there's no audibles. Okay. All right. So chapter 89, countering extremism. All right. Extremism. Okay. So just want you to look. Now, this is the one for the military spending, the military bill. It's supposed to be a military spending bill. This is what they're talking about. 1801, office, well, they're going to spend money to put these offices together, and they're already doing this stuff. Anyway, 1801, Office of Countering Extremism. There's an Office of Countering Extremism in the section referred to as Office within Under Secretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. The office shall be headed by Director of Countering Terrorism as the director. You see this? Okay. Who shall be appointed by the Secretary of Defense in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security? Okay, I was out. What's my shit going on? Sorry, y'all. Okay, personnel readiness and secretary, and responsible for policies countering extremism within the armed forces, and coordination with secretaries of military departments, develop and implement programs. It's always a program, and resources and activities to counter extremism within the armed forces. Establish policies to ensure adequate protection, transparency of process, and availability of resources for individuals who report incidents of extremism. Establish policies and ensure adequate protection transfer. Okay. Facilitate and coordinate with the secretaries of military departments, law enforcement or organizations, security organizations, and insider threat programs in the armed forces. Engage and interact with, solicit recommendations from outside experts on extremists. Outside experts on extremists. Let me take notes too, because I want to, these people, when they talk, like, all right. All right. Coordinate with the Undersecretary for Defense, Intelligence, Defense for Intelligence and Security, and the Deputy Inspector General of the Department of Defense for Diversity and Inclusion and Supremacist, Extremist, and Criminal Going Activity, and perform any national duties prescribed by Secretary of Defense. Then they're going to have training and education in general. The secretary of each military department, in coordination with the director, shall develop and implement training education programs and related to materials assist members of the armed forces and civilian employees of the armed forces in identifying, preventing, responding to, and mitigating risks of extremism. Because we got to come back to all that. I have to write that down. Line 12 to 18. All right. Extremists under the threat, extremists inside of threat training. The training and education programs and materials described in subsection shall include on the following: what constitutes extremists inside a threat? Excuse me. Risk posed by extremists inside a threat. How to identify extremists inside a threat. Excuse me. Y'all already know I'm not going to read this whole bill. Okay, we almost to where I need to pretty much get to. How to recognize when an individual is being influenced by extremists or target for recruitment for extremist groups. Extremist groups. Information about procedures on when and how to report detected extremist insider threats. Resources for reporting outside the chain of command. Media literacy training, whistleblower protections. Such other information may be required by the department, by the Secretary of Defense and consultation with Homeland Security. All right. And it goes on where they're collecting the data. And ensure the data collected across military departments is in uniform to maximum extent practicable. What the hell? Sorry, the database established under subsection shall include each incident, complaint, allegation, extremist by a member of civil by a member or civilian employee of the armed forces, including the extremist behavior related to the incident, complaint, or allegation, the rank, race, gender, ethnicity of the individuals involved in the incident. All right, it's telling you how to collect the data here, okay, for investigations. And then now, and hold on, each security clearance revoking the basis of extremism. So this all right here, right? This, of course, they keep saying in the armed forces, in the armed forces. And I'm going to show you too how it coordinates to us who aren't in the armed forces. And by the way, don't think that they train it. So anyway, the military is not only going to be trained. I mean, okay, all right. What makes me feel like this, or like I could talk like this? When you learn like medical speak, like how to speak like a nurse or a doctor or whatever, you notice words have like broad meanings. You have to be careful with how you say things because it can mean something else when you're giving patient education. Okay, so you don't want to be too broad. You want to be very detailed. If you're broad, you're leaving a lot open that can be covered in the umbrella of whatever policy that's being given out, right? So these people saying that they're going to consult with outside experts on what extremists are. I'm going to tell you what an extremist is shortly, okay? And they're going to train these people. We go back to 1802. They're going to train these people on identifying extremists. You don't think that they're not going to train them on identifying extremists? Also like lay people? Yeah, they will. They will. And it's not about you don't think, okay? We need to start, listen, I'm not here to make, look, anybody who's here who is like, this girl tripping or whatever, you do and feel how you need to feel. That's your right. You can say that I'm tripping or whatever, and I'm being raw and real. And this right here establishes like the option for almost a martial law as far as I'm concerned. And when you showing big things like this, it's like, it's overwhelming because it's a lot to piece together. Anyway, in general, the secretary of each military department, in coordination with the director, shall develop and implement training and education programs related to material assist members of armed forces and civilian employees of armed forces in identifying, preventing, responding to, and reporting, mitigating risks of extremism. We're going to stop right there. There was a time last year in September where I was a civilian member, a civilian employee of the armed forces, because I was contracted to the naval base. No, was it Fort Dix? I was contracted to work with the Army for the Afghan refugees. Okay, so there was a time where technically a training like this, I would have to take it, and hey, maybe I see some extremism outside, and I have to report it now. You know, this is where this could lead you to. But okay, right? Because they still just, for the most part, talking about the military. Also in this bill, and I have to find where it says it. This bill says too that Congress can relinquish their power to the president of the United States if they want to. Like when it comes to going to war and stuff like that, Congress is supposed to say we're going to war. Congress is supposed to say we're going to war. But in this bill that has passed through the House, so it's gonna and it passed through the House, excuse me, actually, I believe last year, right up under our noses. Okay. It's a lot going on to keep up with, right? So it passed, and what could we do about it? You know, when we know things, and they know when we know things, and if we really look into it, we could call our Congress people, tell them we don't want this. We could protest all the stuff, the real stuff that we should be protesting. And I'm going to show you that people don't want bills like this, okay? But anyway, but when sorry, lost my train of thought. So they are saying like, so yeah, Congress is supposed to be the one to say, all right, we got to go to war with, Russia. But in that bill, they can have oversight on Congress, where the president be like, forget Congress, we're going to war. Okay. But we're going to get into that part. So I'm going to read to you now. This is the bill Now this right here, this bill, HR 350, Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022. Remember when the guy went and shot up the when did Uvalde? I don't even know when Uvalde happened. I'm not sure, but I'm going to show you the View talking about this. Anyway, this bill apparently was written by two people who, when it came time to pass the bill, they actually voted against it, apparently. Probably because they realized like we might have handed too much. We might have handed too much power to the federal government. You do not want stuff like this federalized. You don't, because we're going to talk about what a domestic terrorist is. Now, this bill is for Domestic Terrorist Prevention Act of 2022. Okay, this bill, this is not about military. This is about us people. Us people. Okay, all right. Because I guess people were shooting up stuff, so they felt like they had to do. I don't know, but really, they wrote this bill before Buffalo ever happened. Hold on, y'all. All right. They're gonna, all right, short title. This act may be cited as, this one is not as long as the other one, as the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022. In this act, the term director means director of the FBI. Okay. The term domestic terrorism has the meaning given the terms in section 2331 entitled United States Code. We're gonna I have to go back and find that code, I guess. I'm gonna have to make another episode about the codes, or maybe we'll check it out. We'll check it out at the end. Hold on, sorry, y'all. I have to stop saying sorry, y'all. Like, listen, we on tonight. It's on, and I'm talking about everything that okay. Title 18. The United States Code. Now I see what this code is. And we're learning all this stuff together in real time, because before 2021, before 2020, I didn't care about none of this. I cared a little bit, but like, yo, man, I was chilling. I was all the way chilling. Good evening, Broken Traditions, and thank you for joining. I was all the way chilling, but like, you guys came in and y'all told me 2 weeks or so to spread this. I got to shut down and all this. And I'm like, what? Whoa. And now the government is always on my back as far as I'm concerned, especially as a healthcare worker. You must take this jab in order to keep your job. Like, come on. No, no, my rights are given to me by God. Okay. All right. So, and I don't like when people, I told y'all, informed consent. I don't like people playing with my rights. All right. This bill already passed through the House. The term domestic terrorism executive committee means the committee within the Department of Justice tasked with assessing and sharing information about ongoing domestic terrorism threats. Y'all need to understand that these people will call whatever domestic terrorists, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about what that is. The term hate crime incident means described, and it's in the code. The term, we got to really see what that code is though. Okay. The term secretary all right. The Secretary for Homeland Security. The term uniformed services has a meaning given in another code. Okay. We're going to have offices to combat domestic terrorism. Domestic terrorism unit. There is authorized a domestic terrorism unit in the office. Hold on, let me just. In the Office of Intelligence and Analysis of the Department of Homeland Security, which shall be responsible for monitoring and analyzing domestic terrorism activity. Domestic terrorism office, all right. So we know they're going to be the section of the National Security Division of the Department of Justice, which shall be responsible for investigating and prosecuting incidents of domestic terrorism. Such a broad term, which shall be headed by the Domestic Terrorism Council. Didn't even know we had, I guess they're making the council, which shall coordinate with the Civil Rights Division on domestic terrorism matters that also may be hate crime incidents. I'm going to write down hate crime. Domestic terrorism section of the FBI. I got the FBI stuff up too. There's an authorized domestic terrorism section within the Counterterrorism Division of the FBI. Okay, we know that. Staffing. All right, they're gonna staff. Have not less one employee dedicated to ensuring compliance with civil rights. Blah blah blah. All right. So this is basically setting up. This is like the setup. Okay, where they're setting this up so we can have a uniform way to combat domestic terrorism. All right. And so I guess they talk a little bit about, okay, an assessment of domestic terrorism threat posed by white supremacists and neo-Nazis, including white supremacists, neo-Nazi infiltration of federal, state, local law enforcement agencies, and the uniformed services. Christ have mercy. First of all, I did not even see this at the local law, the federal. Damn, that's crazy. All right, hold on a second. White supremacists. And the first report analysis of incidents, attempted incidents of domestic terrorism have occurred in the United States since April 1995, white supremacist related incidents. Okay, so they talked about stuff that happened. Hold on. Domestic terrorism related assessments. All right, they're gonna be, so that. Okay. Domestic Terrorism Executive Committee. I mean, so basically, all right, this is the breaking down how their domestic terrorism unit is working. It's under the FBI. They, they're defining terms, okay? Required training and resources. The Secretary and Attorney General and the Director shall review the anti-terrorism training and resource programs respective agencies, federal, state, local law enforcement agencies, including the state, local anti-terrorism program that's funded by the Bureau's Justice Assistant of the Department of Justice, and ensure that programs including training resources to assist state, local, or tribal law enforcement's understanding, detecting, deterring, and investigating acts of domestic terrorism and white supremacist and neo-Nazi infiltration of law enforcement and corrective agencies. Okay, so they're going to train people, they're going to make up their own trainings, and then they're going to basically send them out for everybody to know who's a domestic terrorist and what constitutes that. They're going to have task force. So this is all little programs and that have come locally. We got to find the domestic terrorists, okay? We got to find the domestic terrorists, all right? It's been all these mass shootings, right? So we have to find the domestic terrorists. Remember, but this is before that. Okay. All right. Federal support of addressing hate crimes, incidents with nexus to domestic terrorism. I mean, and they use words like hate crimes, okay? All right. Okay, let's stop right there. Because this bill alone is overwhelming, but anyway, it passed the House of Representatives on May 18, 2022. And people were scared when it passed. I'm gonna explain to you what a domestic terrorist is. Oh, because I had my page numbers ready. All right, fine. Well, I think I can remember it by heart. Yeah. Right. What are you looking at here? This came out in June 2021. I've been sitting on this information for a minute because I've been like, how am I gonna really, how am I going to share this with people? This is a little overwhelming. It's all overwhelming, right? And then I'm doing this live. Usually I had edited and everything, but it's just so much. If I start editing and everything else, I'm never going to get to anything. I'm never going to get to anything. So I'm doing this live. This is raw, and I will polish it. I now have to look through this whole pamphlet, but not while you're on the screen or whatever, while you're watching me. So this came out in June 2021. This came out under the Biden administration. And this was, together we must affirm that domestic terrorism has no place in our society. I know. So we want to, and this is a strategy. And so they talk about today's threats. So we're going to read right here. According to this assessment, one key of aspects of today's terrorism threat emerges from racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists and networks whose radical ethnic or religious hatred leads them towards violence, as well as those whom they encourage to take violent action. Religious hatred. We're going to come back and talk about it. These actors have different motivations, but many focus their violence towards the same segment or segments of the American community, whether it be persons of color, immigrants, Jews, Muslims, other religious minorities, women, girls, woman. What is a woman? And LGBTQ individuals or others. This instance on violence can at times be explicit. Okay, so, and there was another thing that they said. Now, when I first looked at this, and y'all have to bear with me because when I first looked at this, it said like religious hate speech, and it's in here somewhere. Trying to find it, but it says religious hate speech. Okay, but all right. I'm going to look at the Federal Bureau of Investigations. We'll circle this all into effect. We will make sense of this all. Wow. Oh my God. Don't tell me I lost it. No, I think it's this one. Yeah. All right. We're going to make this all circle and we'll make it. It's all making sense. This to me is just right. So the FBI, I'm talking about strategies, intelligence, assessment, and data on domestic terrorism. I want you to hear what they consider domestic review. Of course, racially motivated violent extremists with ideological agendas derived from bias, often related to race or ethnicity, held by the actor against others, including a population group. Animal rights, environmental violent extremists. I don't even see that happening. So abortion-related violent extremists with ideological agendas and support of pro-life and pro-choice beliefs. I'm going to stop right here real quick. Senator Warren of Massachusetts was calling, she said that we need to get rid of pregnancy centers. You know what a pregnancy center is? A pregnancy center is a place that a girl goes to when she realizes like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. I can't tell my parents, I don't know what to do. So she goes there and they talk to her about all her options. And guess what? They give her resources. She said those places are terrible and they fool people into thinking that they can keep their children. Okay. And me being a Black woman hearing this and me knowing that abortion really was founded on the basis of eugenics and killing Black babies. So for me to hear Senator Warren say that, come on, let's who's leading the race in abortion? It is Black women. So what's going on? Why you don't want them to keep their babies? Senator Warren, what's up with that? Seems a little suspect. Anyway, anti-government, anti-authority. DVEs, I guess the person who's the extremist, with ideological agendas derived from anti-government or anti-authority sentiment, including opposition to perceived economic, social, or racial hierarchies or perceived government overreach and negligence or illegitimacy. Then they also have people, I love this one right here. DVEs who oppose all forms of capitalism, corporate capitalism, all forms, corporate globalization, and governing institutions which are perceived as harmful to society. And sovereign citizen violent extremists who believe they are immune from government and authority and law. There's some people who really are. Ideological agendas that are not otherwise, the threat categories, including combination of personal grievances, beliefs, and potential bias related to religion, gender, or sexual orientation. This right here covers my religion. Okay, that's what happens. So this is what I mean, right? So let me stop the share for a second and show you all my pretty face. Okay. No, actually, I have to go back on the screen. Sorry. Hold on. This right here, the ACLU had wrote against these type of bills. They said we already have enough in the civil rights movement, in the Civil Rights Act, that you do not need to write extra stuff for these bills because it can harm Black people. I mean, that's basically what they were saying. Okay, yeah, it can, and it can harm anybody. Okay, this is the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. We'll read a little bit here. January 19, 2021. Dear members of Congress, on behalf of the leadership the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights, a coalition charged by its diverse membership of more than 220 national organizations to promote and protect civil human rights in the United States, and the Undersigned 156 organization, we write to express our deep concern regarding proposed expansion of terrorism-related legal authority. You hear this? Our deep concern. We must meet the challenge of addressing white nationalists and far-right militia violence without causing further harm to communities already disproportionately impacted by the criminal legal system. The Justice Department, DOJ, including Federal Bureau of Investigation, has over 50 terrorism-related statutes it can use to investigate and prosecute criminal conduct, including white supremacist violence, as well as dozens of other federal statutes relating to hate crimes, organized crime, and violent crimes. The failure to confront and hold accountable white nationalist violence is not a question of not having appropriate tools to employ, but a failure to use the ones on hand. I'm gonna stop right there. Now I'm gonna stop right there, and then I'm gonna come talk to you. So this is why you don't ask the government for help, okay? This is why you should be proud of how far you've come in society and keep it pushing. I'm dead serious. Oh my God. Like, how embarrassing is that? Like, I thought I turned everything off. Like, what the hell? Anyway, sorry, y'all. Everybody's screaming, white supremacists, nationalists, nationalists. And I'm going to show you where they're screaming Christian nationalists too. Hold on. And then whoopsies, please don't write no more. Please don't write no more. Like, wait a minute, y'all writing so much, it's gonna put everybody at risk. Well, that's what happens when you federalize too much. That's my point. That's my whole point. Like, they saying white supremacist, white nationalist group. Let me tell you something. I have seen things written when they say like white privilege. White privilege is having a family, values, and believing in property rights. You know how many Black people live like that? You know how many Puerto Ricans live like that? Chinese people. Okay. If you have value in yourself, they call you are now a white supremacist. This is not the same white supremacy from 1968 or 1950. This is not. The white supremacist today has evolved into you and me. Okay. I told you, I showed you there where it said hate group, groups, people speaking anti-government. That's, I mean, who doesn't question their, first of all, you should question your government. You definitely should. You definitely should in this country. This is my cousin, he said it best. This is sophisticated Haiti. That's really what it is. It really is. There's a lot of countries where you can't speak against your government or you'll go to jail. Although now in Haiti they can, but or you go to jail or whatever. This is what's in writing here. You see what they call a domestic terrorist, okay? They call that, I tried to explain it. It's like they're calling that people who have hate crimes towards certain groups. I keep telling people, right? Black people, I'm going to bring this to you because now, when people see that, they're like, oh, yeah, they're doing that for us. No, they didn't say towards Black people. They said towards groups. You don't want the federal government to help you out. You don't, because when they're helping you, run the other way, because what they're doing is they're adding more on your rights. Like they're not more. They're like surveilling you even more. They're slowly writing away your rights. Yeah. So I keep hearing this thing. Yeah, black hate crime against Asians, black hate crime against Asians. And I'm like, I don't call that really a black hate crime against the Asian when you show me a kook who would kill me too. He would kill me too. You know what I'm saying? Like when I see some egregious, and let me just make this very clear. I'm not saying that it's right either. This is disgusting what I see when I see people pick on groups. There's a bunch of little black kids outside nowadays, and they're picking on certain groups of people who they know is not going to fight back. And of course, we know it's not all of them, but there's a lot. And I don't like none of it. Grab them up, put them all in jail. Okay? Because the streets do not need this kind of criminality in it at all. But they would do it to me too. Okay? They will. I don't like the word hate crime. I don't, because what is a hate crime? What is hate speech? It's speech you don't like. Hate speech. Yeah, I've seen people say, have said to me, I've had people say, I don't like her because she black, or is she the maid because she black? I don't care. Say whatever you want. I don't even care. Don't try to step to me, because then we're gonna fight. But say whatever you want. Don't govern speech, because they're never gonna govern speech just to help you out. They're gonna govern everybody's speech. But dig this. That you see that they're saying religious hate to certain groups. What they call religious hate speech is simply saying, and this is me talking as a Christian, that the Bible says that homosexuality is a sin. I didn't say that. I'm not a sinner, but if the Bible says this, it says this. The Bible says, but the Bible has certain laws in it. It has rules to follow. Of course, we falter all the time, but there are things in it. Sodom and Gomorrah is a real thing. It happened. I'm not trying to make a Sodom and Gomorrah. No, I'm not out here trying to hurt anybody who wants to live their life. But if I'm going to tell you that the Bible says there's man and woman, I just said a hate speech right there, right? That's what they'll say. That's what they'll say. Look at me. I'm live on YouTube saying this stuff, but it is what it is. I'm never going to say that it's not true. I'm never going to say that I don't believe it. You're never going to catch me doing that. That's what you're never going to catch me doing. I don't have to, I know people who are homosexuals, and they don't need me to give up my values in order for us to be cool, because that's not what it should be about. Right. It's in a paper. They wrote the domestic terrorism strategy, and then they started passing bills. And people be like, right, yay, they're going to get all, I know how people think. They're going to get all the MAGA people. They're going to get all the MAGA people. And they will get you too, honey. If you even question the government, they told you, anti-government. If you say, I don't want this jab, you just question the government. I'm not playing with people in words. It's too broad. It is. But it's even worse, because it's also about the power they're taking with this military bill, with this military spending bill. It's everything. I mean, it's a lot to keep up with, and it's a lot to present, but it's happening. And this is not a conspiracy. I don't even believe in that word anymore, because everything that they told you was a conspiracy in 2021, the lab leak, all this. Oh, it's a conspiracy. Well, we think maybe it's not. Oh, come on. And this is also too, in that strategy and everything, I'm going to make little pieces about it. They talk about going into the internet and surveilling people, how they talking, what they're saying. You know why? Because why do you need to do all this? And disinformation. I hate that word. Disinformation, misinformation. I have a right. If I come on, they are attacking us, classic live. Yes, they are attacking you. And who is this? Autodidactic. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you. Yes, when I speak, it's not just to talk about my group of people. I don't really go necessarily by a label. My only label that I take is a worshiper of the Most High God, the 7 Days Adventist. Okay. And because that is the label that I will take all day, is why I'm not righteous. You know what I'm saying? When I say I'm not righteous, like I'm not holier than thou, because I know the Most High God. So We're all sinners. So I'm not judging people, but I'm assessing situations, and I will talk about them, and I will stand for God. I'm not pushing my religion on anybody, because dig this, as a Christian, and I'm gonna come back to what Autodidactic just said. As a Christian, I respect Muslims a lot. And I think that more Christians should act like Muslims who are practicing their faith the way they should. Yeah, there are Muslims who they can be anywhere. They at the market, but you're not gonna catch them at the market at a certain time of the day anyway. Okay, you're not gonna catch them there. Okay, oh shoot, the sun is facing this direction. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to, I'm loosely quoting because I'm not Muslim, so I don't know exactly everything that goes with it, but I know Muslim people. It's like I got to stop what I'm doing and pray. My pastor told a story that he was at the airport and it was a busy airport and everything. And then the guy, it was time to pray. He took his rug out right there in the middle of the all going on, obviously in the way, pray. And he said, man, if Christians could have that kind of discipline, yes, okay. And it's a foundation that is given me to know that God has given everybody free will to worship him how they want and to live their lives how they want. Cool. But it's also not the will for you to impose your will on me. No. Okay. I will share my good news with you, but you cannot impose yourself on anybody. Nobody can. And so, yes, Autodidactic, they are attacking classic liberals too. Yes, real liberals, not this borderline mess. When I talk about liberals, a lot of times I'm talking about borderline people who have found some cause and they're saying like we have to combat racism with anti-racism because the Black people are so disparaged and they don't know what to do and we have to teach them how to live. That's not love. You know what I'm saying? That's that borderline stuff. But yes, like classic leftists who used to speak like this, who used to say like you can't govern people's speech, and they're still out there. They're governing people. Jimmy Dore, he is not a conservative, and they try to ban him and everything. I don't watch all conservative stuff. I told you the only label I take is God worshiper, so he takes me to the truth, right? Okay, so they are governing speech, they're governing people, and like I said, if you question the government, you are a domestic terrorist. And that's just it in a nutshell. I share again. But again, it's not even just the fact that while they're holding on to the narrative, and why do you even need to do all this, right? No, I know I left this on here. Darn it. Sorry, y'all. U.S. Senate. Oh my God, because it's just like 100 things for me to keep up with. I lost it. So, all right, that's all right. I'm gonna get it back again. Shift. Found it. That's all right. Okay. This is Adam Schiff. I don't know. I don't know his party affiliation. I don't necessarily even care. Because by the way, I don't. It's not about party affiliations to me. A lot of it is just one uni party. It's one uni party. These bills that I'm showing you that just only they pass the House, they will pass Senate. That's a fact. They will pass Senate. Okay, because the Republicans that are there that are supposed to be stopping this stuff from happening, they don't like populists. They don't. They don't like it. They want control. They want to be able to do what they want to do. Now, of course, not all of them. I don't know all of them. Excuse me. I don't know all of them, but they want control. They want to be able to take us into war and make buku bucks. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they want to make that money, get that paper. Okay. They don't feel like all this with Congress, gotta ask for permission. No. Let's give the old man the power to say we're going to war. Anyway, Schiff seeks rule that would block oversight of some military operations. Rep. Adam Schiff, I can't, I think he's a Republican, or he's a Democrat. It still doesn't matter. Chairman, because Lindsey Graham loves this war stuff, so please. Chairman of the House of Permanent Selection Committee on Intelligence wants defense policy to include language blocking Congress from oversight of the military and National Guard in some cases of domestic deployment. And that's what they did. They did add that. And I have to find a page where they show you that it's added into that military bill that I showed you. They added that over the weekend. That's what they added, okay, where they can say, give the right to the president. We don't need Congress to say we're going to war. The amendment is poised to be added in the National Defense Authorization Act. And I got to go find that too. Not, but that's for later. And a little bit I laughed because it's like, yo, man, like God doing too. And then they got me here. They got me too. I'm over here. You know, on Friday was a July 15th. Somebody told me that, you know, I mean, watch out for July 15th. Things are going to be happening. And they were like, something's going to be happening. I fell a little ill July 15th. And then I had dropped the video about, you know, Black liberal women doing the most about all this transgender stuff or whatever. Because on Friday, you know, they were more than happy to let us know that Leah Thompson, I don't know, the ball, he's, you know, being nominated for Women of the Year. They had all of us distracted. They had me too. And they was over here like, pass the bills, you know what I'm saying? Because we're trying to get this World War III up in arms. Okay. The amendment is poised to be added to the National Defense Authorization Act, which the House plans to take up this week, and it has drawn criticism from Republicans, BS, who fear Schiff is trying to preemptively, well, you know what, it probably did, from like, you know, Rand Paul, but I mean, lone Republicans, preemptively block them from oversight if their party wins the House majority in November elections. And I'm talking about for just war. Yeah, Congress oversight everything, right? So the president could be like, nah, I'm taking full power of everything. This un-American amendment will fundamentally and irreplaceably erode Congress' constitutional oversight responsibility. Somebody said. A member of the Armed Services Committee and chairwoman of a House Republican conference told the Washington Times, House Democrats led by Adam Schiff are attempting to cover up the national security crisis of the weakest commander in the chief of U.S. history. The exemption, here we go. The exemption from congressional oversight is narrowly focused on the domestic deployment of troops, but Mr. Schiff's free pass for Pentagon could impact a range of oversight from border security to the January 6th riot and the U.S. Capitol. This man is asking basically to just give the president the right to do whatever he wants. That bill that I showed you, that military bill, already has it in there and has passed through the House. These are the fake lies where they act like they fighting something that's already been done, as far as I'm concerned. Autodidactic is, man, thank you, man. You really, I love it. I love dialogue. I love when people comment and we can talk. I do. I used to get in trouble for talking all the time in class. All right, just a little step away. I used to get in trouble all the time. Autodidactic. Eisenhower warned us of the military-industrial complex. He sure did, and I have to go back and look exactly and see what he said. And we have a military-industrial complex for sure. They have us fighting over topics, political sides, keeping us distracted. Wag the dog. Yes, they do. I try to tell people that. I'm like, yo, this is not the battle. Like when I see people saying like, I hate this group because of that, and these people have, I'm like, yo, man, this is not the battle. This is not the battle. Because while we are distracted with a bunch of stuff, they are not only writing away our rights slowly, they're taking us into wars that we didn't sign up for, okay? I'm tracking the situation in Ukraine, and let me tell you, this whole NATO, all that, I foresee war coming. I definitely do. But I have to make a real episode about, I'm not going to go off the top of my head with something so sensitive. So sensitive. They make money off the wars and they want power. They want power, you know? They don't, and you're in the way when you complain, you know? And then they tell you, I mean, I've showed you videos when a lady was like, yeah, we could have an export ban, but that's not going to help our allies in Ukraine. They don't care about you. And I really believe they hate you and me. They hate us, those of us who talk, and they're trying to hold on to the narrative. But the difference is, and that's why I love it. The difference is that in real time, it's the narrative gets debunked. And this is why one day they're just gonna shut down the internet. They're gonna tell you Russia did it. Yeah. Because they need to do certain things. And people like me come on and we start talking and we start being like, this is not true because this, I'm seeing people getting banned. People who had like good following, who just was reporting what was going on, the real news of what was going on. They got banned off of YouTube. I'm seeing it because they trying to hold on tight. It's not like the early 2000s when they told us, again, I always bring it up. I mean, because that was the crazy, okay, when they told us weapons of mass destruction, or in the early 90s when they told us, that we had to go, there's something happened in Kuwait. Oh, I was 7, so it's hard for me to remember. But we had to go to war, to some Gulf War or something, because they were taking the babies from the incubators and they were throwing the babies and they were in the incubators. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. They lie so much just to get you in lockstep. But the problem is, again, now is being debunked in real time. So you can't, and then y'all are destroying the country. At least, you know what? Y'all do this already, right? Right? Where they lie and they say, well, we got to go do this because this happened and that happened. We could have been here not paying attention to none of it. But y'all not even look at my gas prices. Like, look at everything happening and not drilling oil and inflation there. So after a while, you get a couple of people be like, no, wait a minute now. Let me find out what's going on, because at least you took care of home. Maybe less people would be so concerned to find out, well, where's my tax dollars really gone? What's going on here? I have never seen anything like what I'm seeing now. Baby formula shortages, tampon shortage. What is gas shortage? Oil shortage, inflation, gas hiked up, and then a hostile government. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. Before back in 1930, no, in my lifetime. Okay. And it's not about President Trump. A lot of you I've heard have said to me, I just feel like something's happening. You're right to feel that way, because this stuff is not happening on accident. The stuff is happening for real. It is. It's happening for real. This stuff is constructive, carefully calculated to move a certain way. And it is important that you know that, so that you don't fall for the hype and make bad decisions. You don't get uninformed, you don't get any information and you make uninformed decisions. It is very important that you know. But they are trying so hard to govern speech to the point where they're ready to call everybody a domestic terrorism. Jack, somebody I know got somebody I used to watch got banned, and they said that he was promoting hate speech. The man was reading articles. So just a couple of headlines. We're not even gonna, then you get the corporate press that, I'm saying, they do the bidding of the government, man. It was a Fairness Act that went through that made it that, they could write things just to show sides. Not even, back in the day, I watch reportings from, I love history type stuff. And I watch reportings from 1960s, 1971, when the swine flu situation happened, man, I think NBC, all of them, they were all over that. Like, the government lied to us, XYZ, XYZ. When they started taking funding from certain big pharma or whatever, when they start getting, sponsored, your news is done. When the Fairness Act came through and they can give you news on a bias, forget it. So then we had to just believe what was being told to us, period. Even, under the, like, again, once again, Bush, number two, I don't know, George W. I don't know what, I'm sorry. That Bush administration, that was the Dick Cheney administration. Okay. If you ever get a chance, watch the movie Vice, you will see who was running this country. Okay. Amazing. Anyway, but they get the media to, and that was, that's what I'm saying. It's not about party lines. It's a uni government, yo. It really is a uni government. I'm seeing that more and more to this day, and more to this day when I see it. It's not that I'm saying don't vote. I'm still going to vote. I'm still going to go vote for Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania. Yes, I am. I don't care what label you give him. I'm going to go for him because I don't like government on my back. I just want them to run the state. Okay, not indoctrinate my kids in school, not care about crime, all that. But anyway, but whoever wants power, they can use the media however they want. So now we have this administration. They want power. Buffalo exposes the limits of Biden's domestic terror strategy. This is from the Times, showing you that. I didn't show you the ACLU. They're saying stop writing domestic terrorism laws. Y'all are gonna hurt people with this. They're saying that. These people come in, they tell you, nah, they're not writing enough. They're not writing enough. And they want them guns. There's another thing. We got a whole hostile government. Federal agencies lay groundwork to ignore the Supreme Court. You ever hear of something? And we just write this stuff like it's okay. We have legislation. We have a way that this government is supposed to be, how it is constructed to work. You cannot, just because you don't like a rule, you decide to start doing different things. And, and this is man. Oh, you see how you can go into a rabbit hole. I thought this was about the abortion thing. It's not. And I'm not even going to try. U.S. and Fish Wildlife Services, Supreme Court held that the land designated by the U.S. and Fish Wildlife Services as critical habitat under the Endangered Species Act must be habitable for species. For species that services seek to protect. But the service recently let's figure out what they're saying. The habitat and adopted to comply with Weyerhaeuser. In doing so, undermined the Supreme Court's holding in Weyerhaeuser, ignored the Constitution separation of powers, and reinstalled a regime of capricious habitat designations. Wow. This thing was about, I think, the EPA. The ESA permits to service list of species endangered, threatened, as critical habitat. Hold on. But there was one problem. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I picked this up real fast. This is going to take me a minute. Yeah. The Supreme Court took away some rights from the EPA. Everybody, of course, saying the Supreme Court is becoming radicalized. I don't even know how that makes sense. And we need to abolish the Supreme Court. Well, apparently these people are going and doing whatever they want to. Federal agencies lay the groundwork to ignore the Supreme Court. I'm gonna look into that a little more. This stuff matters because, so you get your laws and then federalized. You get the Supreme Court to say, no, this is ruled. That's the whole thing about America, man. A lot of people, this country, this, that, and the third. Listen, I don't know. All I know is that there's a constitution and I respect America for having it. Like, I like that there's a constitution, okay, that if a law goes through Supreme Court, it serves as a precedent. But now when we're federalizing things with some of these bills I just showed you, it's taking away your rights, it's taking away freedoms, and it's also making the federal government become a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship. You know what? We're going to write a law. That's what we're going to do. We ain't got time to wait for Congress to We're going to executively do this, or we're going to make agencies that are just a loophole this way. That's dictatorship. This country was not found on dictatorship. We'll have to, and then I'm going to end off this segment with two things. Number one, this Christian nationalist thing, this segment, and then I got a couple other things I want to talk about, but this Christian nationalist thing is going too far for my comfort. Hold on a second, y'all. I got notifications and I'm a freak who needs to see what my notifications are about. Okay, sorry. All right. Fentanyl don't kill. What are you talking about? I'm on this thing and this comment I made that's like going viral, which is actually pretty cool. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. If, my fucking gosh, my hands always sorry. Hold on. Now, don't get me wrong, certain things I don't believe should be preached on the pulpit, like certain exact topics, like maybe the January 6th, right? I don't necessarily say that you not right, but yeah, right. All right, fine. Because if I call Antifa, right, that wasn't right. Um, but I do believe in preaching about liberty and freedom and God-given rights. Yes. If you're a pastor that preaches Christian nationalists, quit and find a church that preaches the gospel. This is a reverend. The gospel of Jesus, because Christian nationalism and Christianity are incompatible. That's not true. Y'all gave something a name and y'all called it Christian nationalism. Okay. And you know, we'll look at Wikipedia and find out exactly what Christian nationalism is. Okay, what they say it is. People expect for Christianity to be all the time the same thing. I love you for you. I love you for you. I love you for you. You can be who you want. We don't care. We don't judge. We don't care. We don't judge. All parameters. And then when you leave people to their own vices, when you leave people when you remove parameters, bad things happen, including myself. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have some sort of parameters in life, I mean, who knows where I would be? Who knows? And not that I'm this arbiter of the best person. I'm just saying, I'm being honest about why I believe in like boundaries or laws or a moral code. And here we go. It's a long haul project. So what's going on here? So Vice.com, Christian nationalists drove these people out of their churches. It's a long haul project. It's not something that we will immediately solve overnight. It's really vital to have resources for people to help name and differentiate Christian nationalists in order to dismantle it. We're gonna look on Wikipedia now. We're gonna see what they call in Christian nationalists. I wish I could agree with you, but our repeat instances and views are not Christian. Simply doesn't align with his. Okay, so I don't know. Hold on. I'm just showing y'all that this is Christian nationalism is a sin. Another reverend, it's a black woman. Like, so here's the thing. As a Christian, you shouldn't even buy into secular terms like this and start talking about it. This is a made up term. Yes, to me it is. Or a Christian nationalist could be somebody who just really believes in what the Bible says, but fighting this thing, it doesn't make sense. It simply doesn't. And once again, y'all are distracted from bringing the real truth of the word of God, which comes with parameters. Okay. Oh God, Vice News is really going off about the. All right, but okay. Here we go. The story of Christian nationalism is one systematic harm done to members of minority religions, women, and secular LGBT and BIPOC folks. It's not a story of moderate Christians being sad that their core religions have been tarnished, have tarnished their reputation. Stop telling it that way. I don't know who she's talking about or whatever, but I just want to look at this comment. You hear this like, oh, Christian nationalism is a systemic harm to members of minority. They always, these people, man, they come and they use women and secular groups and BIPOC folks. So let's talk about what Christian nationalism is. Autodidactic, you're gonna have to send me some of what you got too. You know what I'm saying? Like, send me some links because you're right. And it's a lot to keep up with, but you're right. Autodidactic says, FYI, we have US ex-military contractors in Ukraine. The US is already involved and many don't even know it. Yup, that's true. It is true. They're calling them protective agents. It is true. All right, so let's go here and, hey, right? It's just a lot, right? Okay. Um, go back on Google. And then we'll end off with a couple of things on my bookmark. Somebody sent me a, boy, I'm back on it. Oh my God. Christian nationalist. Why can I spell? Like, what is this thing saying? I'm trying to ship for me for the stuff. Oh, because, okay, whatever. All right, somebody has sent me a Wikipedia. There we go. Of a Christian nationalist was. They had sent me this. They wanted me to know. You know what I mean? Like, because I was like, yo, what is this thing that y'all keep saying? Okay, Christianity affiliated religious nationalism. Christian nationalists primarily focus on internal politics such as passing laws that reflect their view of Christianity, and it's a role in political and social life in countries with the state church. Christian nationalists, in seeking to preserve the status of Christian state, uphold a anti-de-establishment position. Yup, I do. I don't see what's wrong with that. I don't like establishment. I don't like government telling me what to think and how to feel. I don't. Nah, you know what? Let me send you I'm gonna, hold on a second. I'm putting my email on the chat and I don't even, whatever, it's my email. Or you can, if you're on Twitter, I'm that girl Casey1 on Twitter. So I just put it on there. Send me whatever you got. Okay. So anyway, so Christian nationalists support the presence of Christian symbols, and statutory and public square, as well as state patronized display of religion, such as school prayer. Nothing wrong with a little bit of prayer. The exhibition of nativity scenes during Christmas for the Christian cross on Good Friday. What's the big deal? Christian nationalists draw support from broader Christian right. They would tell you that this thing here, they tell you it's a white supremacist type thing. I think I look far from white supremacy. So, you know, they have described Vladimir Putin as a Christian nationalist. Amazing. They already connecting this man to. So, oh my God, this thing changes all the time. I don't like using Wikipedia for real, because it's all based on like somebody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's based on it's all based on like what somebody just decided to write for the most part. But people are going along with this. I want to see denominations, groups. Yep, and there it is. So this is just about everybody. Although, okay, so Western Catholic, Protestant, Adventist. Shout out to the Adventists. And the Baptist, Anglican, Baptist, Evangelical, holiness, Lutheran, Methodist. This is basically everybody who. This is everybody. Jehovah's Witness, y'all are here too. Latter-day Saint, Catholics, y'all are in here. Anybody who believes in God could be considered a Christian nationalist. If you start talking about the 10 Commandments, they call it's like they're saying you're a legalist and you're mean, stuff like that. Here we go. History. Let's just look at this real quick. No, I'm not. No, my fault. Nah. Let's see what Christianity Today has to say. What is Christian nationalism? This was actually written last year. You've probably seen headlines about the evils of Christian nationalism, especially in December's Jericho March in Washington, D.C. When Trump supporters, many supporting Christian signs, slogans, symbols, rioted and stormed the U.S. Capitol building on January 6th. What is a Christian nationalist? How is it different from Christian? And how is it different from Christianity? How is it different from patriotism? How should Christians think about? All right, so they asking all the questions. What is patriotism? Is it good? Patriotism is the love of country. Is it different from nationalism, which is an argument about how to define our country? Christians should recognize that patriotism is good because all of God's creation is good, and patriotism helps us appreciate our particular place in it. Our affection and loyalty to a specific part of God's creation helps us to do good work of cultivating and improving part of what we happen to be living. As Christians, we can and should love the United States, which also means working to improve country by holding it up for critique and working for justice. Okay, there's nationalism. There's many different nationalism. Hold on, let me see if I can just get the Christian nationalism belief that American nation is defined by Christianity. America was founded on Christian Judeo beliefs. Like, I don't know. Anyway, and the government should take active steps to keep it that way. 7 Days Adventists aren't looking for church and state. I don't think any real Christian who actually really believes in the Bible will, in the Word of God, will want church and state. I worship on Saturday. Church and state could say you got to worship on Sunday now. I'm not messing around with that. What part of Christianity? There's a lot of parts of Christianity. Now, I'm not going to get into any more of that because I'm just not going to overwhelm the situation with all of that. But hold on. Child, it just be too much. Yeah, that's another thing. We about to calm down a little bit though, and we're gonna get back. We're gonna. We'll get better. All right. We're about to settle down for the night a little bit. So to end off that piece, I don't want the government telling anybody how to worship. I don't. I think that the government can say moral codes, and I don't think it's a big deal to say, like, I respect how anybody prays. I respect if a government official has to stop what they're doing and make their 5 prayers as a Muslim, or if a Jewish government of a government official of Judaism has to, respect the Sabbath and not go to work on Friday or Saturday. I respect all of that. I respect that as a 7 days Adventist. I don't want the government telling people what to do and how to do it. I don't. When you really believe the fundamental, like, rules of Christianity, you know that yes, free will is given to people. Yes, we should have a moral code. You know what I'm saying? We should talk a certain way. We should talk a certain way. It's not about Christianity. And here's the thing, you know what's even better? Muslims are very conservative. They're almost more conservative than Christians. Yeah. So nothing wrong with a moral code, but I don't believe that the government needs to get involved. So that word, how they are defining Christian nationalism, I don't even take that word. I don't. Okay. But tonight I've apparently identified that hi Christy. Thank you for coming. Tonight I've apparently identified that I fit the bill for everything. Okay. It is what it is, right? I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I laugh about it, right? You know what I mean? Because like some of it, I gotta laugh. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, but here's, why they the corporate state. I'm not telling anybody to be Christian, but we have to talk about how these people talk to us. So here's why the corporate state really is gonna drive this Christian nationalism home. When you get a bold Christian They're not afraid to say what they believe in. They're not afraid to tell you they're not imposing it on you, but that they have values that they're not gonna let go, and they shouldn't. Just like Muslims have values that they're not gonna let go, and they all this stuff. You see how Buzz Lightyear, they had the gay kiss or something like that on Buzz Lightyear, and they stay trying to push the button here with all this inclusive. You think they're doing that in Saudi Arabia? They're not doing that in Saudi Arabia. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I'm just telling you. They already know. They have their quote church and state. You know what I'm saying? Their law is based on Islam law. And who are we? By the way, this is why sometimes like when I watch Fox News once in a while, I don't even watch it as much as I used to. And I hear people, Hannity, man, I used to have a little bit more respect for Hannity, but I don't. Hannity will say stuff like, radical Muslims, radical, and over there in their country, they don't care about women. And listen, you don't live there, you don't know what they got going on in their country. You don't. And I'm not worried about what they have going on in their country. I'm worried about this country. Hold on. Hey, child. Thank you. So yeah, I'm not worried about what's going on in their country. As a Christian, I know, like I said, they have free will to worship and do what they had. God gave us all free will. It is not for me to impose and say, my religion is better than yours, and I'm gonna go and take and bring all this stuff to your country. That's how American imperialism went and to other countries, and they're like Pakistan gender study program. Come on, these people are mostly Muslim, Oh, women don't have rights in Iraq and in Saudi Arabia. Listen, all I'm saying is that's not for me to worry about over there. If that's what their Quran tells them is supposed to be, that a woman is supposed to be that modest and she's supposed to garb up, who am I to come here and say, no, she's not, and she can take off her clothes? Like, what? So this is me. This is me. That's why I don't fit into every mold. I can't, because what I just said there, somebody would be like, well, that's not right. That's not freedom. That's how they live. And because we keep going to other countries, imposing our ways in other countries, is why we're making enemies everywhere we go. It is why we're walking into World War III wholeheartedly. I have seen people comment and say, we can't wait for America to burn. And I do not want America. Y'all know I don't want America. I live here. I don't want America to burn. But these imperialists, with their imperialist money, have gone and disrespected other countries, that have had ancient laws forever. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. When we left Afghanistan in that disgusting leave after occupying a place for 20 years, you could say $300 trillion went into that war. These people, their stocks, everything, it rose up, all this stuff, all our tax dollars went into that war. You know how many soldiers we lost in that war? And then you know how many women and children were murdered in that war? And over there in the Middle East, we tried to destroy their whole way of governing, right? And so listen, maybe some people did get some good experiences out of that, because I met people from Afghan who was like, yeah, these kids, they don't know what it means to garb up. They don't know what all that means. They have to walk around fully closed up, some of them, but they still were, though. There's the girls, they didn't wear the full like hijab or burqa. It's not the name of it, but they still were like covered. They still were covered. So they still had their beliefs. Anyway, we go in and we tell them, nah, y'all can liberalize them. Well, guess what? As soon as we disrespected and dipped the way how we did, all that went down the drain. Women would be, the Taliban came and they said, we got to put back our law. Now, I'm not saying this right, because also I know a Muslim who told me that you're not supposed to oppress. A woman should not feel oppressed in this religion. If a woman does feel oppressed, then you are working against the religion. Okay. But my point to that is, these people have a way that they govern. And as a Christian, I'm not trying to go over there and impose my values on them. And I don't want our government trying to fix and find some church state that they want to put on us. Oh, but you speak against the transgender. No, y'all changing words. That has nothing to do. Yeah, no, under God, man and woman. Yeah, a person has the right to live however they want to, but you're not gonna keep calling men women. I'm not. No. That's a whole nother story. Even when Lauren Boebert was like, "Oh, we need church and state, or we need the church to, within the government." I'm like, "Yo, man, chill, bro, chill." I think Lauren Boebert is an infiltrate for the Republican Party because she says certain things that I'm like, how do y'all think this is okay? I don't think she's that great of a patriot. I'm sorry, because she's a very fanatical. I'm not a fan of her. She's very fanatical, and she made some statement like that, like, "Oh, we need church and state. We need church and state," and I'm like, if she don't shut up. Please, if you're a real Christian, you don't ask for that, because then you understand not all Christians worship the same way. What's wrong with you? So, that really bothered me when she did that. But anyway, ciao. Okay, so that that concludes that part. Does it though? I'm not even sure. Hold up. Yeah, for now that concludes that part, because I am gonna share some other stuff with y'all, but that concludes that part. How they slowly taken away our rights. They're slowly writing them away. You need to know that they are slowly writing away your rights. You need to know that it's all for the sake of helping you, and that's why they're doing it. That's a lie. All right. All right, guys, we are gonna talk about a couple of topics though that have nothing to do with for the most part, nothing to do with the situation that I was showing about the freedoms. Like I said, I will be making more episodes about these bills that are coming out. I hope that I did explain it in a way where it's understandable how this affects literally everybody. And like I told you already, that we have civil rights groups that are like, stop writing these bills, okay? And how also we have basically we're gonna give all the rights to the president and dictatorship. So yeah, okay, all right. I'm gonna share the story with y'all about why I am so tired of these young kids. Okay, so I saw boycott Walgreens was trending on Twitter. People will be. I know a lot of people don't have a Twitter. You don't have to have a Twitter. Hold on, sorry, y'all. You definitely do not have to have a Twitter, because you don't have to. Like, it's your right not to. But Twitter does start trends. It does start for trends to go, and it is a public square. And I found that out. I don't think it's toxic, because I'm me on here, and I'm not changing for Twitter, because they could shut down the internet tomorrow. Twitter wouldn't be here. But I can find different news. There's some people writing some real stuff on here. But anywho, boycott Walgreens, right? Breaking: Walgreens is hit with a wave of boycotts after it's revealed that employees are permitted to use their sale of condoms and emergency contraceptives because of their moral objections. I'm not going back into the Christian nationalism thing. I want you to see how this story is told. So when I saw this, I was like, oh shoot, what? I was like, they making it that like people don't have to sell certain things to people because of their religion. I was like, I didn't think Walgreens would even have a policy like that. Like, they can't sell something to somebody. Like, I can understand that a person might not be. By the way, like, even like with heparin porcine has pork in it. A lot of Muslims don't deal with heparin because of that. I'm going back to the Muslim thing. Jewish people shouldn't really be using heparin either, because it has. And if you're against pork with your religion, you will find that people won't take the heparin because it has pork in it, so they won't even touch it. Okay, but I didn't know. Like, I'm like, yo, they must have a whole policy written. But you're supposed to tell the next person to fill the script or whatever, right? Okay, cool. So I said, well, how did this happen? I'm like, what's going on? So I'm like, let me hear the story. So And then I went to go, all right, first let me hear the story, right? Because I'm like, a whole policy, like, wow. All right, so we're gonna listen to this, okay?
Woman with a uterus, and I have been on birth control for about 6 years now, since I was 15 years old. I won't even go into all the side effects I've had, all the terrible things that birth control does to your body, but I'm gonna go into why I haven't received my birth control this month. I was supposed to pick up my birth control last Saturday. It is now the next Friday, and I still haven't received it. Basically, that Tuesday, the Tuesday before, whatever, that Tuesday I'd received a message to refill it. I didn't want to refill it yet because then it would just be sitting there waiting for me. I was going to wait till Saturday to refill it. Saturday rolls around and they say I have no refills left, which is weird because the only reason I would have no refills left was if I needed to meet with my provider, which happens once a year, which I already did this year. So I call Walgreens, I can't get a hold of them for the life of me. I'm on hold for an hour and I just decide to hang up and go in. So I go into Walgreens, and I don't want to be biased against any religion, but the lady that was helping me was older. She was one of the only people working there. They weren't busy. And she had 2 crosses, not one, but 2 crosses hanging around her neck. And when I told her what I was there for, my birth control, she looks me up and down and goes, like, excuse me? She then says, yeah, we're not going to refill that prescription. You need to call your provider. And I said, you won't refill it or you can't refill it. And she goes, you just need to call your provider. So that's what I do. I call my provider and she's not in at the moment. So they said that she would give me a call back and I said, okay. I then get a call a few hours later from my provider's office saying that that's weird because you have 4 more refills left. I'm not sure why she would deny you of your prescription, but let me call them and see if I can figure it out. So then after that, mind you, my prescription is now 4 or 5 days overdue and I don't have my birth control and I'm not protected and my hormones are getting so fucked up. Then I get a message saying that it's delayed now, that I can get it, but it's delayed. And then I get a message saying it's out of stock. What is it? So I call Walgreens again. The amazing lady who helped me this time was great. She said, I don't know why we haven't refilled this for you. You have 4 more refills left and your provider called approving it. I'm going to refill this for you, but would you mind telling me who helped you last time? I was intrigued, so I told her and I said, could I ask why? She goes, I know exactly who you're talking about and we've been having this problem for the last 2 weeks. They've been having a problem with women not being able to get their birth control for the last 2 weeks. So first, they want us to stop getting pregnant and having abortions, and then they don't want to help us prevent that pregnancy. I've been trying to keep this video lighthearted, but access to healthcare should be a right, and this should not be happening. Hi, so I am a woman with a
Hello, 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 hello. Damn it, this microphone. I don't know what the hell is going. Oh, all right. I think I'm back on. No, wait. I need confirmation. Sorry. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm back on. Sorry, y'all, but I had to make sure. All right. Hold on. So I'm gonna read this to y'all. So because I was like, yo, what? So wait a minute now. So all right. Walgreens allows employees to pick and choose who gets birth control. Okay. Women are attempting to buy some condoms at Walgreens and learn that company policy allows employees to refuse to sell them to customers based on moral objections. The manager did come and complete the transaction, but both specific interactions and wider policies speak to a future of where we're moving on. A manager did come and complete the transaction. Okay. I'm not going to read this whole story, but I want you to see. Wait a minute. Oh my God, I hate everything because Walgreens had okay, F it. Walgreens had responded to this story. Our policy allows pharmacists to step away from filling a prescription for which they have moral objection. At the same time, they're also required to refer the prescription to another pharmacist or manager on duty to meet the patient's needs in a timely manner. Of course, this person, Sarah, if pharmacists have moral objections to medications, they shouldn't be a damned pharmacist. This is bull. And this is how you don't get informed consent, Sarah. You do need people who have ethics, okay? Whether and it's not even about the birth control, by the way, is to have ethics to say, hey, wait a minute, let me see your labs for your INR because your blood work seems to be a little too high and they just ordered you, your INR seems to be high and they just doubled your dose of Coumadin and that can make you bleed out. God forbid you blow your nose and then you blow it all over your shirt. So no, yeah, you want some sort of moral objection, at least moral enough for them to look into the script. Now, I'm not saying again, hold on. Let me stop the share real quick. Hold on. Let me make sure that y'all. Best friend just she put she making fun of me with the hellos. I know it's like really ridiculous that I'm like having this kind of technical she was, you're back. She went, oh, Walgreens is tripping and lady had her 2 crosses. So, but we see what Walgreens said, right? They said the person doesn't have to fill the script, but they should, and then truly they should find somebody to go fill the script. Like, I can't touch the heparin. Can you fill the heparin for me? You don't see this too often, but these stories, they're definitely going to pop up now. You see, how long has this been happening though, right? How long has this been happening? And we didn't care. But now we have narratives, like, oh, women have a right to health care. So this girl goes into this long story. She got the optics. And you know what? I'm sure she's a nice girl and everything, but I mean, hey, I got to take a story for face value, right? I don't want to be, dismissive of any religion. She had 2 crosses. The lady sized me up, said, but please excuse me, which she shouldn't have, Now all of a sudden my I know. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, sorry y'all. Yeah, so which she shouldn't be sizing nobody up. And then she says, I'm not, we're not refilling this. Is that what she said? Is that all she said? Let me tell you something. It's a lot of medication that's out of stock. There's a lot of medication. People saying they can't find their Synthroid. Look at please, we don't even have baby formula, let alone Lopressor. Okay. So So then the lady said, you know, you need to call your provider. If she wasn't feeling it because she was too religious to fill your prescription, why would she tell you to call your provider? She would just say, like, I can't fill it for you because of my own personal reasons. You're gonna have to come back another day. It's here, but I can't fill it. That's not what she said. I don't know what was on that lady's mind. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I'm saying I'm tired of stories being propped up because people are so excited to be part of a cause. I don't care about a cause. I don't care about all this, what's going on. I want the facts, and that's all I want. And what did they say? They said it was out of stock. So then the other girl says to the girl, like, oh, I'm going to refill this for you. I'm going to take care of this. But who was this? Yeah, we've been having this problem. First of all, that's not for you to tell. See, that's, you know what I mean? Like, there y'all go. You know what I mean? God. 2022, boy, these young people, man, they just messing everything up. As far as I'm concerned, like, that's not for you to tell her that. Yeah, we've been having this problem. That no, she don't need to know all that. Because you're supposed to tell her, like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm gonna make sure that you're very well taken care of. Let me get the information and find out what happened here, okay? And we will just and what you can say is we'll talk to our employee and see why didn't they tell the manager, you know, that they weren't going to fill your script. This is unacceptable customer service because somebody else should have known that they could have filled your script, and we're going to get to the bottom of that. But miss, we're going to make sure you get your medication. But what ended up happening? How do we know that the medication wasn't out of stock? I don't know half of what happened in this conversation with the girl, but one thing I do know is that now with all social media and everything, everybody has a camera and everybody gets to tell a story however they want to, you know. And again, somebody, oh, you're just doing that because you couldn't know. Look, maybe the whole thing happened that way, but I just told you. They should have told her, like, we're going to reprimand the lady. No, we're going to, not even, we're going to talk to her and get down to the bottom of this. This is not customer service. Yes, our staff has the right to say they can't touch certain things. However, there's always another staff member here who can do it. And we will make sure to take care of this and tell you what happened. You know, then the girl ends up crying at the end. I'm trying to keep this like an medical dry face. Excuse me. It's a lot of acting going on nowadays. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. Everybody wants to be a hero. That's all I'm going to say. But maybe the whole thing happened. And if that did happen, Walgreens needs to find out why that lady did not tell another staff member that she could not fill that script and that somebody else needed to step in and do it. She was not the only person there, or she should have called a manager from home and told him, you see, I knew this was going to happen because y'all keep having me short staffed. Now I cannot fill the script. I need somebody to drive here and come fill it. That's it. That really is how it's supposed to be done. By the way, no, I'm not going to say the other part. All right. So we get, so there's that. All right, we've got a couple other things here. That I wanted to share with y'all. I'm not even gonna, because I said I was done with that. I was supposed to show you all that already. Whoopsies. Okay. Oh, I appreciate whoever Punky 1984 is. Oh, thank you. Oh my God, Kalista, thank you so much. Oh, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who retweeted my tweet. All right. So we're coming up or wrapping up a few things, okay? Whoo, child, I gotta get to the bottom of that story. I'm not gonna do that one today. I did say I was going to share with you the evidence of people who are saying that we have to lie to you in order for you to do what you need us, what we want y'all to do. So here we go.
In our health alert, that was based on 50. And the numbers that we gave on pediatric admissions weren't intended to make it seem that children were having having an epidemic of infection. These were small numbers that we reported in our health alert. That was based on 50 hospitalizations, and I've now given you some larger numbers, but they're still small numbers. It really is to motivate pediatricians and families to seek the protection of vaccination.
Because we need help. Oh God, the hello's about to start again. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, I think I'm back.
To motivate pediatricians and to seek the protection of vaccination.
So you see what she's saying. So they basically played around with numbers. I want you guys to, when you get a chance, go on my old catalog, and it's gonna be a episode saying the FDA wants to jab the kids. Something is gonna be 2 kids on the wow, it's gonna be 2. It's wow, shit, sorry. It's gonna be 2 kids on the on the thumbnail. Christ have mercy, like a cartoon kids. Y'all gotta go way back though, because it was last year. I don't talk about certain things on this platform, but I will be getting back into it because you know, the cold season is upon us, and you know, it's the fall season is right around the corner, even though it feels hot as hell in here. But so they about to get real dumb, and you know, so I got to be prepared. So y'all have to look out for my rumbles when it comes to those, because y'all I'm so sure. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna actually talk about that one. So yeah. So when it's the cold season, it's coming. I'm watching what they're doing and how they're talking about certain things. And y'all have to go on my Rumble to get new information. Excuse me, new information. I hate it. They have me. But it's for y'all. I have to stay on YouTube. I do have to stay on YouTube because it's easy access, and I want people to hear what I have to say, because I'm bringing you information, not because, you know, and look, and all this information that I brought y'all tonight, you could, if it is your right to look at it and be like, oh, well, or I don't care, or, you know, X, Y, you know, whatever. Like, this is dumb to even, you can think whatever you want. I'm just presenting you information that you didn't see, and now you have saw it. So it is very important for me to keep this platform going. So the new information that I bring about certain things, it will be on my Rumble. But what I'll do is I'll have like an episode where I'm like, yo, check out my Rumble, y'all. And then that's it. And then that's it. Check out my Rumble. God, I think, yeah, on my other episode where I made, it said, please support your, you know, your independent content creators. I leave all that in the description, my Rumble, my Twitter. Go check my Rumble out and go look through some old videos and see what you see. See what you So yeah, they lied. But so the reason why I wanted to show you that, in one of my videos, I talk about it, how, you know, New York, now this one, they were basically lying about the children, how many children are getting sick and how they all in the ICU. Because, you know, we need you to do certain things. We need you to do certain treatments. You know, it's just to give you a little fire in your behind. Just a little white lie. That's all because we're smarter than you. So we have to lie. I told y'all in the beginning of this streaming, if you were here, how they took my ovary with those little white lies. That's why I don't mess around with this. That's why I'm grateful to God that I'm a nurse, but I'm not. No, this is unethical. These little lies, these uninformed consents, it's unethical. New York during the pandemic was people are dying, people are dying, people are dying. In that episode, I'm telling you about the little kids, I show you paperwork where they said 1,300 people died of something. But they said, well, most of them were assumed to possibly have died of that. We think it's really more like 18. Okay? I show you paperwork where they told the doctors, If you assume this person has something, put it on the death certificate. If you, okay. Now, we're almost at the end. I wanted to just show y'all this too. They want your kids. I'm saying.
Limit their participation in activities. So we really want to base our treatment and to affirm and to support and empower these youth, not to limit their participation in activities and sports, and even limit their ability to get gender affirmation treatment in their state.
Hello. Okay. So around this gender affirmation treatment, you know what that is? That is to affirm the gender is to, you know, hey, maybe maybe if somebody asked me what Rumble is. Rumble's another streaming site where you have more freedom to talk on Rumble. So what's your Rumble name? And thank you for shout out. Oh, thank you, Punky. It's on another description. You know what? I'm a thank you for the shout out. Okay. I'll put it. I don't even know it by heart because I barely be using it. But I'll put it on. I'll put it on the screen before we get off. So let me write that down, and then you can even come back to it. But I'll send it to you guys. I have to find it. So yeah, and Rumble is another streaming site that is more definitely. You can talk about a lot of other things more freely. But a lot of people aren't on Rumble. But there's a lot of information flowing through Rumble. A lot. Now, this is talking about gender affirming care. When they say that, gender affirming care, to affirm the gender, if a child comes to you, if a 6-year-old comes to you and says, Mommy, I feel like I'm a boy today, you have to affirm that gender and do whatever it takes, basically. So if a 14-year-old says, Mom, I want to cut off my boobs because I feel like I'm a boy and I want to take puberty blockers. They are writing legislation. They have already where if you say, no, sweetheart, we know, whoa, what's going on, boo? You know, what's going on, babe? Whoa, what's going on? But you feel like, what happened? Talk to me, because I don't think that we need to make these life-changing decisions and start cutting off certain things. You know, it's going to mess with your hormones and oh my God. Hello. It's just too much, yo, bro. All right, hold on. It's gonna mess with your hormones. All right, I'm back on. So, oh my God, we're wrapping this up. Yeah, so, you know, babe, yeah, we don't want to cut off, but they're working on legislation that could be like, well, maybe we need to get, you know, she goes back and tells her counselor at school, like, Mommy said that, you know, I should think twice about getting that gender affirming care. Up, that sounds like child abuse. Why don't we get a DHS in here to find out what's going on in the house? Because if her child says that she's a boy, you know, that sounds abusive to tell her that she's not. I didn't say, whoa. I said, this is my kid, right? This one's fighting. This one, y'all know who this person is. I'm not even going to say the person's name because I have no. When I look at this person, I see a really bad person. Like, I just like, oh gosh. This person, when Cove was getting ready was on the horizon or whatever you call it, and they would get ready to shut down nursing homes. Yes, because they did. I went to nursing homes that people didn't see their family members for months, and then they died anyway. Sad. This person and the governor of Pennsylvania, they wrote those kind of decrees to do that, to shut them down. and also put sick people in them. Remember how everybody was coming for Cuomo about that? Like, Cuomo killed old people, Cuomo killed, and then they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care. But anyway, other Democratic governors did that too. So did Tom Wolf and this person. But right before this person knew that they were getting ready to enact that, they pulled mom out the nursing home. Oh yeah, because it's about to go down. They're about to die. Get moms out. You know what I mean? Moms is coming out the nursing home. My mom ain't gonna die. Your mom can, but mine won't. Amazing. Now this person who has a medical degree, who is a nurse and knows that the stuff that they are trying to fight for, to say to a 14-year-old, fine, we're going to transition you into a female. And this is going to make your, excuse me, was it into a male? One of these surgeries, they use the colon as the access point. Yeah. Yes. The boy came home and said he was going to be a girl, whatever. They did all that. Now they use the colon, the opening, and they smell like crap all day long. All day long, they smelling shit. I'm sorry, it's just the only word, right? Isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? Nobody told us, yeah, right, let's just butcher you up. Life changing. Well, why don't we just go ahead and give them puberty blockers? The same ones that we give to males when we chemically castrate them, so that they don't have, child molesters, when we chemically castrate them, give them things like Lupron that causes psychosis. The transgender community is killing itself. I'm not here to speak on every individual on why they're doing that, but I know that there's a large amount of people that are seeing and hearing things and they're getting psychotic. I wonder why. I have met a couple of them, okay? And they go off and they kill themselves. This one's fighting for that. This one's fighting for that. Absolutely an atrocity. It is an absolute atrocity. It is, because it's children. It's not even about, it's not even about all that anymore, about like, like, well, I have the right to live. It's a kid. It's a kid. That's my kid. My kid has not even developed yet into the person that they're supposed to be. All of this, the brain, everything, they don't know. They're making a decision. They're being impulsive. Can you tell me at 14 years old, what you thought at 14 years old to be true, you still think to be true today? Can you tell me at 5 years old, when I thought I was a lion, I was like, I'm a lion, I'm a doggy, I'm a cat. Oh, so now somebody's supposed to take that serious and allow me to live like that? Like, what is going on? This is delusional. We cannot do this. The fabric of reality is being stripped away. Again, everybody has a right to live how they want to live. But when you're making legislation that you're saying, oh, if we talk about saying that it's not right to cut off things off children, and we need to, slow down with the medication, all this that we're doing to kids. Oh, you hate the trans community. You can call me whatever you want, by the way. Or, oh, we need to have counter legislation, which they're working on, which they have. And they call, because there's some states that are like, no, we're not allowing 14-year-olds to have these kind of procedures here. Oh, you guys should be able to go to another state or something. But this is child abuse, and there's no other word for it. And I'm not going to normalize it by any other thing, but just to call it child abuse. As a kid, they have not developed anything yet to start cutting stuff off or to start taking medication that is so aggressive on the body. Who's fighting for these kids? Yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me that much. It does. It does. It does. And there's one more thing that I was going to talk about, because we have a real problem of allowing the straight up the lowest common denominator of society. We keep making excuses for people, and I'm tired of it. And I don't care what color the person is. Black is not, y'all already know I was going to talk about black, but black is not is not criminals. Okay, black is not, oh, we're gonna march and all this. No, like, just for any old body. Okay, hold on. Oh my God. What is this guy's name? Technically? Okay, here we go. Hey, Jesus have mercy. Sorry, y'all. Coming on the tail end. Mm. All right, sorry. So this guy, shot back when we raised protesters. Everybody's gonna talk about the girl but I wanted to talk about exactly what happened. Anyway, so man, this is gonna have like no, I don't want it to have. Okay, hopefully, I just want to get to the point. I don't. Look at all the ads. It's so annoying. It's like, oh my God, I'm being taken over by ads. I don't want all this. I don't even know what you can hear, if you can hear me. Family said he was having a all right. GoFundMe allows page for Minneapolis gunman Andrew Sundberg after asking one for, okay. The fundraiser, dead Minnesota shooter. I wanted to find out, okay. Come on, man. Sorry, y'all. I should have had this prepared, but I'm kind of doing this one on the fly. Techley Sundberg shooting was 911 caller shooting. 911 caller claimed stalker was shooting at her. A newly released 911 transcripts are offering glimpse into the chaotic moments after police say shots were fired at Andrew Techley Sundberg into a neighboring. Hold on, y'all. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me because. All right. Because like it's all this stuff flying around, all these links and stuff. Anyway, into a neighboring apartment, sparking a 6-hour standoff that ended with Sundberg being shot and killed by the police. She said she was cooking for her children when Techley Sundberg fired bullets into her home, nearly hitting them. Police responded and helped Yarborough escape. When, according to police, Sundberg also fired at fired at officers. That led to 6-hour standoff, and then the snipers took him out. I literally had 5 minutes to live while he had 6 hours to choose life or death. The police stated they did not want to kill him. There's a bullet hole through my apartment. I got grazed a little. It went straight through my wall. I know that if the bullet hit me or if it was like glass that hit me, because it went straight through my wall and hit the glass base on my table. After being asked whether or not they had been shot or bleeding, the caller says, I don't know if I should shoot back. I have a license to carry. Shout out to her for having that. I would not recommend that. We're getting an officer out there as soon as possible. While describing an entrance, all right, I know that guy does not like me for some odd reason, but wait a minute. While describing entrance of the apartment building, and now officers could enter, the caller is asked whether she knows who might be doing that, to which replies, it's coming from apartment 318. He's been having issues with me, like stalking me. I won't give him attention. I don't know if he's been upset lately. Later adding, I know that guy doesn't like me. For some odd reason, he's been stalking me. I think unaudible stalker. He's the only one who could do that. All right. I want you to see what happened to this girl. And
It was a terror. I'm sure it was a terror.
Not okay. They're my idols because you guys are celebrating his life.
It was a terror. I'm sure it was a
This
terror.
is not okay. Not okay.
You're alive. Shut up.
You guys need to just let it go. Grief in silence. This is not okay. This is not a George Floyd situation. George Floyd was unarmed. He was unarmed.
You're alive. Sorry.
This is not okay. My kids have to deal with this and probably have a mental illness now because they almost lost their life. because he sat in the fucking hallway watching my move.
This family wishes this never happened.
I wish it never happened either. That I don't have a place to call home. I can't sleep that night.
She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay.
This is what they want to show on the TV. She's obviously going through a moment.
This is not okay. Just go home. Go home. Because none of you guys knocked on that man's door to check his health.
Shut up. He come to my house. Shut up, nigga. You're
No,
fucking
you guys did not come.
Why do you
He did not. You guys did not come and visit that man. This is not the time or the place. It wasn't. This is not. It don't matter. It don't matter. Get away from me. Get away. No, because you think it's okay to get in my kid's in the car. My kid's in the car. My black kid is in the car. He killed me. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. He tried to kill me in front of my kids. He tried to kill me in front of my kids.
Hello. Okay. And so what? Hold on. So what we have here, shit. When I saw this, it frustrated the crap out of me. I didn't even hear the story yet, but I was like, this looks very frustrating. It really does. This lady, now I read to you that this guy was shooting up in her house, okay? I don't know what started it. I don't care, okay? Shooting up in her house, almost killed her kids, okay? Then he was in a 6-hour standoff with cops, and then the 6 hours. And the snipers finally took him out. Now the family's already raised somewhere like $42,000 for the guy who died. You know, they already raised GoFundMe. She has a GoFundMe too. I think it's like 19,000 raised. If I was her, I'd use that for GoFundMe and definitely move out of that neighborhood because they are not feeling her because he shot at her house and she called 911 and he was in a standoff for 6 hours. And then the snipers finally took him out after 6 hours. And then the family said, they shouldn't have killed him. He was having a mental health crisis. Yo, we got to stop this now. I don't care what you have going on. You're trying to kill me. That's all I know. And not everything is going to end up or end off in a great kumbaya moment, okay? Half of the people who talk like this, who say things like this, have never dealt with mental health crisis. Well, something is mental in you when you want to just shoot and kill. Yeah, and a lot of people haven't dealt with that, a crisis situation. You should see some of the takedowns I've been involved with, okay? You don't know what's going on. But the worst part is she's telling y'all it's not okay. It's not like you got the liberal boy, boy right here. He just trying to get some. He said they have the protest tonight. The black girls, they're gonna be here. See if I can get some. He doesn't care. Why is he here? He doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? And then people are yelling at this woman. You're alive. Shut up. Shut up. You're alive. You did. She was this trying to shoot in my house, and not you though. Shut up, B. Shut up. And the borderlines go back and forth with her. Oh, what you doing is wrong in front of your kids. She's like, yo, y'all are commemorating and immortalizing this guy who tried to kill me and my children. Oh, Black Lives Matter, shout out to the, you know what I mean? Like, no, this is not what Black is. This is not what Black is. Okay? This is not okay. That is frustrating. That is real. She's like, yo, I could have died. Shut up. You didn't. You didn't die. Damn it. You don't get to talk. You should have never called 911. You should have ducked and covered. Is that what y'all saying? Like, that's how I take that shit. Like, if it was me, I'd be like, wait a minute now. So what did y'all want me to do? Die? Nobody would have marched for me. Borderline personality disorder can't wait to march about something. They can't wait. I'm surprised Al Sharpton wasn't all over this. Al Sharpton is, swimming in his riches after he sold out the Black community. But anyway, okay. No, this is not okay. This is not Black. Okay. This is not. We need to stop making excuses. Well, because the Black community, they can't. No. I gotta find one more for y'all. One more. Here we go. You know what? All right. Nope. I'm not going into another headline. Else I'll never get out. We've been going strong for like couple like this. I ain't never do no live this long too, y'all. I've enjoyed it too. I hope back. All right, we're gonna listen to this.
Families connected by a deadly and unthinkable tragedy are speaking out tonight. Good evening, I'm Dawn Timoney. It's been a top story all week long. Young teenagers charged as adults in the deadly beating of 73-year-old James Lambert. Two of those teens have been officially charged with murder. And the mother of one of those teens, 14-year-old Jamira Mosley, sat down with our Alex Hawley today. It is an interview you will only see here on Fox.
So all that stuff that's on social media about me and my child is not true. I'm not a bad mom.
I sat down for an exclusive interview with Shira, the mother of 14-year-old Jamira Mosley, charged with third-degree murder and conspiracy charges for the traffic cone beating death of James Lambert Jr. Jamira's grandmother and family attorney Lonnie Fish were also present. Much of the attack was caught on surveillance video.
What do you say to some people who've looked at that video and they say, how could a good kid be capable of something like that, beating a 73-year-old man with a traffic cone to his death?
It was the other kids and, bad influence. She probably didn't mean to do it.
The 73-year-old was walking along the 2100 block of Cecil B. Moore Avenue on June 24th when he was attacked just before 3 in the morning.
My daughter didn't take up nothing like that. Never. Just like that going, it just, things been different. Because we ain't got that family no more like we used to have. I'm saying we used to be in the house and stuff like that as a family. My mom disabled, so I'm going through a lot, so she going through a lot.
Why was it important for you to talk to us and to...
Because I feel like that's my daughter and I care. And like I said, she wasn't with me when it happened. She snuck out that night and snuck out that night and been with some bad friends.
So she never snuck out before?
No.
Well, Shira, do you have a message for James Lambert Jr.'s family?
I'm just want to give my condolence. We apologize. I'm really sorry it happened. I'm sorry as a parent. She's sorry. So I can say I'm just sorry.
Of the 7 children shown in the video, only 2 have been charged so far, Jamira and Richard Jones, who is also 14, and both have now been charged as adults. And Richard Jones.
Let me hurry up and drop my link, my Rumble link on here. If I could just find this. I don't know. My Rumble name is C Felon, which I must have been really like rushing when I did that. But I don't even know. All my videos are just like all over the place. But that's Rumble. I ain't gonna hold you. Rumble is a little annoying sometimes because, like, because this isn't all my videos. This is not all my videos, but because I have so many more videos in this. But we'll because I really want y'all to see. Damn, my phone about to die. My phone been on for a minute. Sorry. Oh my God, how do you even like get the, oh my God, I hate Rumble for this, like I do. Oh, share. I'm trying to hurry up and add it. Copy URL. And then I will come here, we are in a rush. And then, so I just put it there. So you guys just, you know, oh my God, I hate Rumble for this, like I do. Let's share. So I just put it there, and then you guys can go and subscribe to whoever wants to subscribe to my Rumble. You can subscribe there, and then play around and find the videos. I'm still trying to figure out Rumble. I am, but play around, find the videos. Furthermore, because this is the first 2 videos I put, y'all really should check them Jones out. Y'all definitely should. So, but I will be shouting out my Rumble even more. I'm gonna end up turning this this off here. But to end off everything, man, first of all, you guys have been amazing tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. So to end off everything, so y'all just saw that video. So we're just gonna finish this off. I'm not a bad mom. The kids were a bad influence. She didn't mean to do it. Dad is gone. We're going through a lot. She snuck out. She never did before. We apologize and we're sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I don't care. Well, she has a lot going on. I don't care. It's an explanation, but it is not an excuse. Sorry. We need to stop making excuses, because what's going to happen is people are going to be like, oh, but she's a child. Why are we, you know, charging her as an adult? She didn't know no better. And a lot of these charges are going to get dropped. They killed that man. Apparently what they're saying the story was is that he saw some kids out at 2:30 in the morning and said, y'all need to be out this late. And then apparently they were like, what you say? So he apparently picked up the cone, was like, all right, back up. Then they grabbed the cone and they finished it up. You know what I'm saying? They thought they did what they had to do. I'm not a bad mom. Listen, I'm not here to say bad, but you ain't good. My father, no, I didn't even, because there was a time my father didn't live with us. I knew better. We didn't act like this. We didn't. First of all, we was not all 2:30 in the morning, 14. And if we were trying to go to somebody's party or see some boys or something. We weren't out here trying to kill people. Like, or somebody said something, now they gotta die. Come on. And the whole thing about, you know, there's no excuses, guys. There's no excuses. There's none. And no. I have high standards for the Black community that, yes, I am a part of, you know, that I don't answer to about everything, which is why I can keep it real. Oh, it's not their fault. And, you know, they're disparaging it. No, stop it. Stop dumbing down Black people just to make excuses for other people. No. This has nothing to do with Black people. This has to do with a child who was not even afraid of her mother. Okay? She's not afraid of nobody. These kids, you see them, a lot of these kids, trust me, believe me, I've been around them. They're not afraid of anything. Okay? We'll discuss that further another day. Guys, we did it. It's like, no. Thank you for indulging me and for joining, and people who joined. even through text messages. My best friend had text messaged me that our president of the United States said something, but I can't even pull it up because I'm afraid that my phone's gonna die. It is gonna die. Gas prices have been dropping for 34 days straight, about 50 cents a gallon. That saves the American driver, average driver, $25 a month. I know those extra dollars and cents mean something. It's breathing room, and we're not done working to get prices even lower. But I didn't sleep. Somebody else tweeted that for him. But anyway, stop playing with me, yo. Stop. You see how they play with you? But we talk about it on my channel, though. We do. 25. They were never supposed to be that high in the first place. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Anywho, y'all. But that's a whole nother conversation. I will be back again with videos. I'll be back with videos about the war, about everything. You guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me. I didn't even expect to go this long, but I enjoyed this. I did. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot going on. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you at the next video. Bye.